Hello, students. Today, we're going on an exciting journey to understand the foundational document of our country, the Indian Constitution. We'll explore what it is, how it was framed, its key features, why we need it, and delve into its heart, the preamble and its guiding principles. Get ready to learn about the supreme law of our land. Let's start by thinking about why rules are so important. Can you imagine a school day where everyone comes and goes as they please? Or where there are no guidelines for behavior? It would be pure chaos, wouldn't it? That's why we have rules everywhere, at home, on the road, and even in movie theaters. Similarly, for a country to function smoothly and maintain law and order, it absolutely needs a clear set of rules. Before India gained independence from the British on August 15, 1947, Indians were forced to follow rules imposed by the British, with no voice in their own country's affairs. This situation worsened, leading to widespread protests. Under the inspiring leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, a nonviolent movement eventually led to India's freedom. However, after independence, India faced significant challenges like widespread illiteracy and the divisive caste system. To overcome these and ensure everyone had equal opportunities and benefits, it was clear that a strong legal framework was needed. This framework would ensure equality for all citizens. Did you know that one of the oldest known written sets of laws is the Code of Hammurabi? It comes from ancient Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, and dates back to almost 1754 BC. This shows that the concept of codified rules has been important to societies for a very long time. Once India achieved independence from British rule, our leaders quickly understood that a country as vast and diverse as ours needed a clear, comprehensive set of rules and regulations to govern it effectively. These crucial rules are all contained within a single, very important document known as the Constitution. It's not just any document, it's the supreme law of India, which means all other laws must follow it. The Constitution precisely lists the powers of the government, and equally important, the fundamental rights of every Indian citizen. To create this foundational document, the Constituent Assembly was established in 1946. This incredibly significant body was headed by none other than Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, often referred to as the father of the Indian Constitution due to his pivotal role. The process of writing the Constitution was a painstaking one, as it had to accommodate the immense diversity of India, its many languages, religions, and cultures. It took more than 3 years of dedicated effort to complete the draft. Every single point within this extensive document was subject to thorough discussion and intense debate among the members of the Constituent Assembly. Finally, the Constitution was adopted on November 26, 1949, a date now celebrated as Constitution Day or Samvidhan Divas, and it fully came into effect on January 26, 1950. This day marked an incredibly important and proud moment for India, signifying the beginning of our journey as a sovereign republic. That's why every year, January 26th is celebrated with great pomp and pride as Republic Day. Here's a fascinating fact. The original copies of the Indian Constitution were not printed, but rather were entirely handwritten in both Hindi and English. They were also beautifully illustrated by renowned artists from Shantiniketan. Imagine the artistic effort that went into creating such a significant document. India is a truly vast country, comprising 28 states and 8 union territories. To effectively govern such a large and diverse nation, a specific system of government known as parliamentary democracy has been adopted. This system ensures efficient governance at different levels. At the top, we have the central government, which is responsible for matters that affect the entire country, such as national defense, foreign policy, and major economic decisions. Then, for each individual state, there's a state government. State governments primarily look after local concerns, like maintaining law and order within their state, managing internal issues, and providing services to their citizens. The beauty of this system is that both the central and state governments work together in a coordinated manner. Their shared goal is to ensure the welfare, progress, and safety of all citizens of India, creating a balanced and effective governance structure. It's quite amazing to know that the Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. It's a massive document, originally having 395 articles, 22 parts, and 8 schedules. Over time, it has been amended, and now it has about 448 articles, 25 parts, 12 schedules, and has undergone over 100 amendments, making it incredibly comprehensive. Every republic, including India, operates based on a fundamental set of rules or principles that guide both the nation's governance and the lives of its citizens. These principles are enshrined in our Constitution. The laws within our Constitution are not randomly created. They are deeply based on the core values of equality, justice, and liberty, and these values apply universally to every single citizen of India. Let's break down what each of these means. Equality strives to make India a country where every Indian is treated as equal, irrespective of their background, caste, religion, or economic status. This means equal opportunities and no discrimination. Justice aims to ensure that all Indians have the opportunity to benefit fairly from the laws, meaning everyone has access to a just system. And finally, liberty grants all communities the right to live in harmony, ensuring freedoms like the freedom to speak and write what one thinks, the freedom to choose one's religion, the freedom to travel anywhere within the country, and the freedom to live in one's place of choice. It's important to highlight that under these principles, women enjoy the exact same rights as men. Essentially, the Constitution tells us what rights we possess as citizens, the rules we are expected to follow, and clearly defines the powers of the government, creating a balanced and just society. It's a wonderful piece of history to know that 2 of India's most prominent leaders, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, our first Prime Minister, their signatures represent the dawn of a new independent era for our nation. The preamble is the introductory statement of the Indian Constitution, acting as a powerful summary of its fundamental principles and values. It's a declaration of our nation's aspirations. Let's understand its key terms. We, the people of India, signifies that the Constitution's authority originates from all Indians, regardless of language, religion, wealth, or region. Sovereign means India is free from foreign control. Its citizens elect their government to make laws. Socialist implies an equal right to the country's wealth and resources, promoting economic equality. Secular ensures equal freedom and respect for all religions, with no state favoritism. Democratic defines a government formed by leaders directly elected by the people through voting. Republic means the head of the country, the president, is an elected person, not a hereditary ruler. Justice guarantees fair, honest, and equal treatment for all citizens, irrespective of background, and includes the right to vote. Liberty provides freedoms to speak and write one's thoughts, choose one's religion, travel anywhere, and live where one chooses. Equality ensures equal opportunities for every Indian citizen, regardless of religion, economic status, sex, or place of birth. Fraternity encourages all Indians to live as one family, fostering brotherhood and sisterhood despite differences. The preamble is truly the soul of our Constitution. Did you know that the very concept of having a preamble in a constitution, an introductory statement that sets out the guiding principles, was first adopted by the United States of America? Many countries, including India, later drew inspiration from this idea when drafting their own constitutions. So to quickly summarize what we've covered today, we've learned that in 1946, the Constituent Assembly was formed specifically to frame the Constitution of India. This monumental task was largely guided by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who, in consultation with other great leaders, drafted the rules into what we now know as the Constitution of India. We also now know that this crucial document was adopted on November 26, 1949, and it formally came into effect on January 26, 1950, a day we proudly celebrate as Republic Day. We discussed that the core guiding principles of our Constitution are the invaluable values of equality, justice, and liberty, which apply to every single citizen. We also understood how the central government and the state governments work hand in hand to ensure the well-being and progress of all Indian citizens. And importantly, we now know that women in India enjoy the same rights and opportunities as men, thanks to our Constitution. Finally, we explored the preamble, which is the heart of our Constitution, declaring India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, committed to securing justice, liberty, and equality for all its citizens and promoting fraternity among them. The Indian Constitution truly is the bedrock of our nation, ensuring a fair, just, and harmonious society for everyone. A remarkable fact about the Indian Constitution is its adaptability. It has been amended over 100 times since its inception. These amendments show that our Constitution is a living document, capable of evolving and responding to the changing needs and aspirations of the nation as it progresses. Thank you for joining this session on the Indian Constitution. I hope you now have a clearer understanding of this incredible document that governs our nation. Keep exploring and learning.